Good day, everyone, and welcome to Different Stages Radio. I'm your host, JJ, broadcasting in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And my guest today is from Vancouver hypnotic heavy metalers Spell, who are about to release their brand new fifth album, Wretched Heart, on May the 1st through Bad Omen Records in Europe and through Metal Blade Records in North America. Please welcome my guest, Cam Mesmer. What's going on?
Thanks very much. It's an honor to be here. I'm pretty freaking excited about the new album we've got coming out. I'm excited to take it and play all over the world with it. And I'm honored to be here with JJ from Scrape Records, legendary metal record store in Vancouver.
You're very kind, but you should be very jacked about Wretched Heart, because now, thanks to you, after having a chance to dive into the album, I'm blown away. Like from the first two singles, title track Wretched Heart and Lilac, I'm like, wow, Spell are really stepping their game up here, like serious stepping their game up. And then listening to the record, I had to even slide in a third listen this morning just before doing this, because I'm like, after attempting to sleep, which is something I rarely do, but I want to give this another spin, because I was thinking yesterday, this is exceptional. And then after another run through this morning, I'm like, no, this is really ridiculous. You should really be proud with what you've done here. Like, this is all killer, no filler, start to end, flows amazing. How does it feel?
Wow, thanks. Thank you so much for the kind words. I mean, that's obviously what I'm trying to do. I kind of do believe that, the amount of love and pain and suffering and effort that you put into something, you can get it back in the end. I mean, I've pretty much spent the last 3 years working on this record every single day. And just trying to not accept anything that I didn't feel like was up to par. I really wanted to make every album better. So I'm really happy to hear that you feel like I've done that. So thanks so much.
No, you totally have, because just the depth and the maturity, while still seeming to maintain your raw and innocent roots, but it still just has great melody, tasty leads. All the songs are memorable and stand on their own. And I'd like to hear, how has the response been so far towards the title track, Wretched Heart, and towards Lilac?
It's been really good so far. I actually kind of was looking forward to getting a little more hate on it, because that's kind of those are the fun comments. Like, you read those comments on YouTube, and I don't know, it's a little bit, it doesn't bother me. But to be honest, like with the lyrics on this record, I was trying to write from a really personal and vulnerable place. To be honest, I've had a really tough couple of years, and I kind of just felt like, what's the point of art if not to take suffering and turn it into something beautiful, something other people can relate to? And I've always kind of been annoyed at how common it is in metal, I think especially more recently, just to sort of be too afraid to sing about your personal stuff or your hardship, or to be open about the ways in which you're vulnerable. And I've always loved the bands that can do that, like something like Cauldron comes to mind. Like, I grew up listening to them, and I always felt so struck by how they were writing about real shit. They were writing about heartbreak and challenges in their lives and stuff. It's not just all like dragons and motorcycles. So when I wrote the lyrics, it took me a long time to write the lyrics for this album. I wrote, it was like hundreds of pages of journaling I'd done over a couple of years, that I finally managed to turn into lyrical form when I went on a trip to Vietnam and just focused on it every single day for 2 weeks. But I was kind of expecting more people to call me a loser or call me a pussy or something like that for writing about my feelings. But it hasn't happened yet. So, if anyone's listening and you want to come take a jab at me, then come on over.
No, if anything, that just adds integrity for sure. Now, with this, you alluding to the last couple of years were perhaps a bit difficult for you. I assume that's where the title Wretched Heart came from, and perhaps that allowed you to really get everything out that you needed to.
Trying to do it. Actually, the title, so my brother Al is the drummer in Spell, and he also plays lead guitar. And he came up with that title before he even had any idea what I was writing my lyrics about. And he was like, "Oh, what do you think about that for a title?" And I was like, "Holy shit, that's specifically what I've just written, written hundreds of pages trying to get out, but I hadn't quite conceptualized it in a nice little phrase like that." So once he said that, it just brought the whole thing together.
Now, like you said, you spent about the last 3 years or so working on this record. But at the same time, it was pretty much last March, wasn't it, where you actually started tracking Wretched Heart? So it's been kind of that portion alone has been a year process. How does it feel like you're getting close to the finish line?
Oh man, I always get this funny feeling before an album comes out. I know it's not realistic, but I always feel like I'm going to get hit by a truck or something like that, before I get to see it through the finish line, especially when I have all the ideas in my head, but I haven't been able to record them yet. Because it's just, it's years of work every day. And, I've got like notes scribbled down, and I've got like voice memos on my phone of some of the vocal melodies and guitar parts and stuff, but it's still not there until it's recorded. And I always just feel like, before it gets out of my head, something terrible could happen to prevent it from getting out of my head. So I'm really happy at least that it's all recorded now. So even if I get hit by a bus today, the album's still coming out.
That is crucial, but we don't want that to happen, though. We definitely don't want that to happen.
Thank you.
But diving a bit deeper in the record, a couple other tracks that I would like to mention that I found were standouts. Like, and I'll say it's all good, but yeah, from the opening cut, Dark Inertia, like just a great way to open the record. But yeah, Take My Life was another. I found a huge standout. An Oubliette was killer. Can't even speak today. Exquisite Corpse, killer as well. But can you talk a little bit about Take My Life?
Yeah, sure. That song. Well, so I mean, I can't put that big guitar riff, and then I just want to build a song around it. But the song is about. It's kind of about two things. It's about a time a couple years ago when we were driving around with the family, like a minivan full of children on some rural roads in Alberta, and we hit a deer. And, that's not uncommon for Canadian, but I happen to be the only man aboard, and so it was my job apparently to hop out and check on that deer. And I checked on the deer, and it was just, its back was broken, but it was alive, and it was just staring at me, and it was not at all dead. And I thought to myself, I was like, it's just on this rural road. I thought to myself, fuck, like the humane thing to do right now is to put it out of its misery. But, obviously millions of people do this, but I'm not a hunter. I'm not a killer. I've never killed anything bigger than a fly. So it's like -45 in the middle of winter in rural Alberta. And I was like, shit, I've got to kill this deer somehow. And I didn't have anything with me, obviously. And I felt quite uncomfortable with that. And I was looking at it, and I was considering the sort of power dynamic. Like here I am, the human who's about to kill you. But I'm feeling quite uncomfortable, and I kind of started shaking, and it was looking at me, and it really struck me because it was totally calm in that situation. And it's almost like it was just looking me right in the eyes, and it wasn't trying to escape or get away or anything. I really felt strongly like it was, deers have evolved to be prey animals. I think they know when their time is up. And it just looked me right in the eyes, and I really felt like it was guiding me, or, giving me some kind of calmness through the process that I had to snap its neck. But it felt so weird to me how the power dynamic was switched. I was the killer, and yet I was the one who was uncomfortable with the process and needed guidance from that animal. So I kind of used it as a metaphor for other things in life where, you have to do something really difficult. You have to end something, you have to cut something off, but you need that guidance and reassurance through the process.
That's heavy. That's gonna that's haunting. That's intense.
Felt that way to me, yeah.
Wow. Okay, and how about Oubliette? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's one of the songs that Al sings. On every Spell record, Al sings a couple. So I wrote the music, and then he wrote the lyrics and vocal melodies. But that song, as far as he's explained to me, it's basically about working a dead-end job as your physical body breaks down. I mean, he has had back problems all his life, and he's got this job that hurts his back more and more every day, and he's just kind of getting by in Vancouver, and like everything's getting more expensive, and his body's getting damaged more, and it's like, how long can you keep it up before something gives? It's just kind of the boot of capitalism crushing us down. And, it's easy to say, here we are in Vancouver, we're rich compared to most of the world, but still when your body breaks down on you, there's nothing you can do about that, and you're still fucked.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, we're all human. We all feel the same.
Yep.
It's slightly different, but we're all people.
Yeah.
Now I wanted to ask about who is referred to as the fifth Beatle.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about Felix Fung and how important he is to Spell?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So we met Felix probably back in, I think back in 2013, at a show, I think, and we just started talking to him, and we started talking about, analog recording. For a while, we were really analog fetishists. We wanted the first album we did with Felix was recorded all to tape. We just didn't send it through any. I mean, it's kind of ironic because, of course, then in the end, you do have to send it through a computer to, get it even to like the vinyl plant or whatever. But up until that point, we didn't use any computers at all, and we liked Felix's style. And so we've worked with him on every Spell album since the second album, and even the first album, he remixed it for us. But we came to trust him a lot, and we really actually appreciated that he wasn't specifically like a metal producer, because I kind of think in any genre it's pretty easy to get kind of pigeonholed in specific sounds or specific like industry standards. It's got to be the 5150 with the tube screamer or whatever. So we liked his approach. It was just a little different, and we also liked his instincts for songwriting and song structure. There's been some stuff he's contributed, just stuff I never would have thought of, like, hey, what if we just remove the guitars entirely for the intro or for the verse or something like that. So we like working with Felix because he kind of just gives us like a different angle to look at things, which I think is super beneficial. And we just trust each other a lot. So it's and also I appreciate that Felix will we're not all analog anymore. I'm not afraid of using some of the tools that we have, but the approach is still, I think, really honest in that, if you want to get your vocals in tune, I'm going to do dozens of takes until I get them in tune, and every vocal line is doubled. So you got to do dozens of takes till you get it perfect. And then you got to do probably a lot more takes than that to get the left side that is also perfect, but you can't distinguish them. So it's like this, I appreciate Felix's kind of honest approach to recording where there's no tricks. You're just putting in the work.
And does Felix also help you with ideas in that, where maybe the rest of the band is a bit maybe in line with one thing and might need that nudge of like, maybe you should turn it over this way, or that's enough? Does he help in that way?
Yeah, I mean, we know the rest of us pretty much, we all come from a metal background, maybe with the exception of Gabriel, who loves metal but has more diverse influences. But yeah, Felix will sometimes we'll all be seeing things one way, especially after the band. We always record a demo of the songs before we take them to the studio. So sometimes we can get, it's easy to get like demo-itis, where you've made your demos and you're kind of stuck imagining the song in that way. And then Felix comes along and he's hearing it for the first time and he'll be like, oh, what if you cut out this part completely? We don't need that part. And we're all like, oh, but we like that part. But then I trust him enough that I'll listen to it. And most of the time I'll be like, shit, he was right, but I just couldn't see it. So I think it's important to have someone like that who you trust.
I agree. Totally. That's very awesome. Now I wanted to ask you about working with Bad Omen and Metal Blade. How's that relationship been?
It's fantastic. So we first started working with Will Palmer and Bad Omen. He sent me an email back probably in 2013 or something like that, because he liked our first mini album that came out. And he just said, hey, do you want to release your next album on Bad Omen Records? And we thought that was cool because we were already aware of them and they'd released some stuff that we really liked. And I didn't even realize at the time that Will is the bassist of Enslaved, which is cool too, obviously one of our favorite bands. And since then, it's been a great relationship. Bad Omen Records has grown a lot. And then also, Will, he's also one of the dudes at Metal Blade Records. So we've got this co-release situation going where I feel like it's kind of like best of both worlds, because we've got the full use of the Metal Blade Records, promotional engine and, all their connections and resources, but we don't have like the contracts and, ownership stuff that comes with being on a label like that. So I kind of think we hit the label lottery.
I think you've done great. Now there's going to be, I'm sure, multiple formats and different variants. Can you talk a little bit about the different varieties of Wretched Heart coming out?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we got vinyl, which is of course my favorite, coming out in a bunch of different colors, and I think there's some colors for Europe and some colors for North America, and it'll be on CD as well, of course. We've occasionally done tapes. I don't know if there's a plan for tapes at the moment, but I kind of think that'd be cool. I like a cassette tape. I still play tapes in my car. So, yeah, that's the options. And then it'll be on Spotify and everything like that too.
Now you also have some significant shows coming up, one in just a few days.
That's right. Yeah.
We're Hell's Hero, like that in Houston. That's a big deal. And looking at the day that you're playing on, you've got some serious pioneers playing, such as Loudness and Dirk Schneider and Voivod and Sanctuary.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And that's huge.
For the Bathory band that's going to be.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I mean, Hell's Heroes is fantastic. It's such an awesome metal festival. I think it's the best one in North America. We played it 3 years ago, something like that, 2 or 3 years ago. And it was crazy amounts of fun. It honestly felt like, I mean, every metal festival kind of feels like a family reunion, because, if you've been in the scene as long as we have, then it's like wherever there's metal people gathering, you're going to know people. and it's kind of different in the North American metal family reunion versus the European one. But we got friends on both sides, and so we're gonna go there. We're gonna see. We're gonna connect with new friends and new bands and meet old friends and play in this beautiful huge outdoor stage and eat some good barbecue, and it's gonna be spectacular. I can't wait. And we're gonna play these new songs for the first time.
And that's March 19th through 21st, and you play on the 20th. Is that correct?
Yeah, on the Friday. Yeah, Friday. I think it's Friday the 19th. Yeah.
Friday the 19th.
Yep.
That is a huge deal. And any plans of, or I guess you would have done it by now, any off dates, or are you just doing the one show and then coming
Yeah,
back?
just doing the one show, unfortunately, this time. Yeah, I think they have some clause where you can't do. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Anyhow, we couldn't book anything else around that.
And then looking ahead to summer, you have a big show, big festival show.
Yeah, we're playing. So we're playing in
Fast and Loud.
Mexico. Playing Fast and Loud in Mexico. Yeah, we that's gonna be pretty cool. We were at Candelabrum in Mexico last year, and that was tons of fun. Like I that was our first time playing in Mexico, and it was freaking crazy. Like the Mexican bangers are unlike anything I've ever seen before. Like we played that show at Candelabrum, and our stage manager came up, and our English was good, but it was a little bit rocky at times, so I wasn't sure if there was a miscommunication because she told me after the set, come off stage because you have to come to your press conference. And I was thinking like, oh, that she probably is maybe her meaning of press conference is different than mine or something like that. But sure enough, we go off stage and we like walk over to this tent, and there's like 30 people from Mexican media. All from they got their little like microphones with the little thing like Nardwar, from each newspaper and like whatever website and stuff, and they all know who we are. And they've all got like specific questions about Spell. It's not like, oh, like who's your band or whatever. They all have done their research, and there's like literally dozens of them. And we were sitting there for like an hour, and we had this panel with like little clip-on microphones for each of us. And I was like, what the hell is this? This was never happened before anywhere. So and then also we after we played, we walked out into the audience, and like we were just getting thronged by Mexican fans like nonstop for hours. We probably signed hundreds of autographs, and I've never had an experience before like that in my life. So I'm pretty hyped to go back to Mexico.
Overwhelming but cool. I'm sure you're like, what?
So cool, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of time for that. If there's people that enjoyed my music, then I'm incredibly honored. I've got all day for that.
And now we have a new single coming out on March the 27th. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Are we able to?
Single.
Are we
That
able to
single is
mention
Take
what
My
the?
Life.
Oh, it was Take My Life. Okay, cool.
And we've got a new music video coming out for that. And personally, that's my favorite music video we've ever done. I think it came out really cool. I won't give too much away, but I will tell you that I stole one of the ideas from a Roxy music video. But yeah, I can't wait to share that one. It's really neat.
And any other shows in the works? Like you're going to do maybe an album release show in town?
Yeah, we have a show booked in Vancouver at Green Auto on Saturday, May 30th. So I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna get Living Evil, which is Cat's band from Victoria. They're coming over to play their first show in Vancouver. They're super cool. It's like speed metal, thrash, Slayer-esque kind of thing. Really, really fucking awesome band. And then we've got Space Queen playing with us as well. So that'll be our first time playing a bunch of songs live, a bunch of these new songs live for the first time. So looking forward to that a lot. And then we're also planning some European stuff. It looks like we'll definitely be over in Europe in March of 2027, but I'm really hoping we can get there before then because that's way too far away.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get on some more summer festivals if you can, huh?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's been hard to get over. It's been a lot harder to get over to Europe than ever before in my memory, and I think it's because all the bands that would typically be touring America are not touring America, like all the international bands,
Right.
because America's fucked, and they just made it way harder to get the visas, and also it's just scary to go there. So I think all those bands are just going to Europe instead. So it's like all the European venues are completely blacked out, like for months and months and months. So it's just been tricky, but we will get over there. We want to.
Persevere.
Yes, that's yeah.
So where do we send people to buy Spell product?
Yeah, well, you can go to our Bandcamp, which is bandcamp.com/spellofficial, or you can go to the Metal Blade website. If you're here in North America, I think that's the best option is Metal Blade. Just type in Metal Blade and Spell and you'll find it. You can also, it's like we have it all set up. So, if you find Spell on Spotify, Then you scroll down, you can find the records and CDs and stuff there. Yeah, it's pretty easy to find.
But hopefully physical product is what people truly want, because I think when it's something as pure and as authentic as Spell, you want physical product.
I agree. Yeah, thank you. But I mean, I meant on Spotify. If you scroll down,
Yes.
yeah, you can buy the physicals. Yes.
Yeah, still a great tool for discovering stuff, but yeah, you still want physical product.
Totally. Yep. Yep. And I hope we'll have, as far as I've been led to believe, that that LP should be landing in record stores near you on May 1st.
Once again, Wretched Heart, new Spell album, May the 1st, Bad Omen Records in North America, and through Metal Blade Records in North America.
Yeah, Metal Blade in North America, Bad Omen in Europe.
Yeah, Bad Omen in Europe. And yeah, awesome chatting with you, Cam, and I look forward to the show May 30th, you said, in Vancouver at Green Auto?
May 30th in Vancouver at Green Auto, yep.
Well, that's it. Thank you so much, Cam.
Thanks so much, JJ.
This is Different Stages Radio.